how to get rid of your clay water, how to get rid of the slip. Let's clean up, shall we? Video dedicated for a new business owner, new people to the pottery world, how to get rid of your clay water. Hello everyone. So I had a very long day, had so many wheel throwing sessions. Now it's time for cleaning. So I want to show you how I clean my studio. I want to show you how safely you can get rid of your clay water or your slib, because for those who doesn't know, you can't actually wash your tools in the sink because clay will clog your pipes and you end up having to pay so much money to the plumber. Or you could invest in buying a sink trap. I think they're around $500, but apparently they're not as effective, so you might end up having to call the plumber. So there is a safe way of getting rid of your clay water. Usually I would recycle most of it, but then the dirty one on the floor, it's already contaminated. I would try and dispose of that. So I'm just gonna show you. So I've just filled this bucket here with water. It's full of nice, fresh, clean water. And what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna start with the aprons. The reason I'm starting with the aprons because they are the cleanest, so they have less clay on them. And then after that, I'm gonna start also with the microfiber. These ones students use to wipe their hands. And then after that, I will start with tools and brushes. And then after that, I start with the wheel heads. So the reason I do it in this order, because if I do the tools, which are the most dirty ones, then I'm gonna have to, when I do the aprons, they're not gonna be clean enough. They still gonna have residue on them. So this is the reason why, because I want my apron to be spotless. I want them to be really nice and clean for my students for the next session. So I'm just gonna try and put them all in here. As you can see, I've got lots of water in there. I'm sorry about the microphone, it's a little bit long. So here we go. So I had a lovely group of people. They all enjoyed their wheel throwing session, and they might be coming back for more. Yeah, so here we go. So now I've got all of these aprons in there. I'm gonna grab a sponge because that's easier, and then I'm just gonna start cleaning. I might, after I do this cleaning, because I've got too many aprons in here, usually I have like 3. This time it was like I had lots of students, which is very good. I'm appreciative of that. So yeah, I'm just gonna quickly clean them. I might have to maybe rinse them after this in the shower when I know it's safe to rinse them in the shower. You have to get rid of all of that clay first before you rinse them. So even washing your hands in after you finish working with clay, that's also not allowed, because that will just keep accumulating and it will clog your pipes. Trust me, it will happen. And I wouldn't even wash your clothes in the washing machine. I would first rinse them in a bucket, or maybe try to hose them outside if you have a house or something. Yeah, for those who do have a house or a backyard, they are very lucky. My home studio is in an apartment. I do have a balcony, but I don't have access to like a backyard where I could dispose of that dirty clay water. So yeah, it makes it a little bit harder and a little bit challenging, but that's okay because I love what I'm doing. I don't mind. So yeah, this might not be perfectly clean, as I said, because I've got like almost 5 aprons in here. So I could maybe, after I make sure they already have been rinsed properly, I could rinse them again in the shower or in the sink if I need to. There's no need to put these in the washing machine because these are actually leather or plastic. I pick them this way to be leather or plastic, not fabric, because it's actually easier to clean. So, you know, it's all about working smarter, not harder. Yeah. So also, one of the students asked me if she could come back to practice on the wheel. So we both discussed it and we sort of tried to work out how we can do this. So what she's gonna do, she's gonna pay like $25 to come and rent the wheel, and it will be self-guided. So she will be doing it herself without me helping her, because she already has done like an introduction to wheel throwing. But also, like, I will be in the studio, maybe doing something else. And if she has a question and she's really desperate, she can still reach me and she can still ask me questions. But I think to make it even easier for her and for other students that might be interested in this program, I'm going to record myself step by step with all the things that I showed you already in your wheel throwing session, just as a refresher, so you know what to do. I was thinking to do this maybe while I'm glazing or something, but then I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, why not doing this while I am actually doing a wheel throwing session? So like if I have 5 people here, I could put a hair wheel on the side and then she can just be doing it herself. This because, you know, as you see, all this needs to be cleaned, so I would rather clean it in 1 day or 2 days rather than having her coming in another day when there's no wheel throwing, and then I have to clean like 1 wheel, because sometimes it's more efficient to clean 5 or 6 wheel rather than cleaning 1 wheel, because you still have to clean the tools, you still have to clean the aprons, you still have to do that sort of bucket process. So yeah, but anyway, if anyone is interested, please message me. You can either message me on Instagram, I've got WhatsApp, I've got my email, I've got so many. Oh, I also just started a new LinkedIn account. I keep watching lots of videos on YouTube, and so many, you know, marketing specialists, they recommended to have a LinkedIn account. So yeah, I've got one as well, and all accounts are called Ceramic. Okay, so now I finished this. Now the next one is the all of these nice microfiber. With the microfiber, I will also maybe do it twice, just because I'm gonna put those in my washing machine, and I would be very, very scared that they will maybe clog my washing machine. So yeah, I have to be very careful. Hopefully the sound's still happening because I'm moving around, and this thing is getting stuck. Please be working, because last time it didn't work. So I'm just gonna get another bucket so I can put these microfiber in. And yeah, I will get maybe more fresh water in this bucket later on, and then I will also rinse them again. So if this is just like the old-fashioned hand washing, which I used to watch my grandmother doing it in long time ago when I was like a little child. So yeah, so this is just getting rid of all of that clay. It's just gonna get dissolved, and I will show you what I'm gonna do with all of that water. So I will show you the tool that I'm gonna be using, which is like a lifesaver. Yeah, so anyway, so after I do these microfibers, then I will basically do the other tools. So I'm just gonna maybe try and stop the video now, because it's just gonna be too boring you watching me cleaning the microfiber, and then I'll show you the next step. So I finished the microfiber. Now I'm gonna grab all of the tools that I've got in here. Maybe I'll just put them in this bucket, try and find them all. Sometimes the chamois, you know, these little chamois, they disappear. I keep buying more of them. Eventually I find them, but they're very good at hiding, if you know what I mean, because they just get mixed with the water and everything else. So I'll just make sure I've got all of the tools that I need so I can put them all in that bucket. Hopefully my voice is still recording. And see, that chamois was hiding, and I'll get that sponge as well. And okay, few tools in here. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do with these tools, I'm just gonna put them all in there, just easier. I won't pour that water down here yet. That will be like the last step, because that's just gonna make my bucket full of clay. Just getting all of the tools that I need, and then I'll basically just gonna be washing them and put them aside somewhere clean. So yeah, so this is the next step, and then I will stop the video now and show you what I'm gonna do next. Okay, so I have finished the tools, including the brushes. Now this is basically the last thing I'm gonna do. I am going to clean the wheel heads. So these wheel heads actually do come off, as you can see, and each one it's just full of slip. So what I'm gonna do, instead of actually putting that slip down here, first I might actually put it in this bucket. Let's just keep these brushes nice and clean, and then I will rinse it here. So that will make it completely nice and clean. Sometimes clay gets stuck in here. I know, I overdo things. I am a little bit of a perfectionist. Maybe when I start having lots of students, I might not be able to manage to do that, but I would use like a toothbrush, an old toothbrush. Please don't use the one that you use in your mouth. And then I would clean inside here. So as you can see, that's going to be done to each wheel head because they all come off, and I'm going to be rinsing them here really well. So as you can see, there is lots of work I do after the student leave, and you know, I don't expect students to clean after they finish. So like most studios, they do ask the students when they finish their session to do a little bit of cleaning. I feel bad asking. Last time the students did offer, and I really appreciate them doing that. But again, I don't expect anyone to clean. You know, you are paying good money to come in and have a nice, relaxing time. You don't want to be cleaning. So I completely understand where this is coming from. But I will not say no if you do offer. Anyway, so yeah, so like I would say after like a full day of maybe 3 sessions of throwing on the wheel, I would spend a good hours cleaning. Again, maybe I don't have to do all of this. Maybe this is a bit of an overkill. This is how we say it, overkill. But because this is my home studio, so I live here, I need to make sure that everything is nice and clean, because you know, I have to be very careful with clay dust and all of that, and I don't want to hurt my lungs and everything. So yeah, so I'm gonna do this gradually. I will put it aside. I'm just gonna try not mix things up. So this belongs to this one. I will keep them together, and that's how it goes. And then after I finish with the wheel heads, all of that thick slip that's left over here, I will condense it in maybe one bucket. Oh, look, I found a chamois. See, I told you they hide. See, I found a chamois. Yeah, and maybe, yeah, all of that will just go maybe in one bucket, and then I will end up with 2 buckets of slip. So what happens, I will leave that to set for 24 hours. Now what happens, the clay will basically sit down here and the fresh water will sit up at the top. I'm going to show you a really good tool that I will use to suck that fresh water from the top without disturbing that clay that has settled down here. Because anything you do, if you move it, then it's all mixed up together and then you have to wait again for a few hours. And then with the mopping, I have 2 mob system. The first mob and bucket, they actually have a mark on them. It says wheel throwing. So I would use that first one to just get rid of as much clay as possible. And that water in that bucket I have to dispose of, and I have to find a way. I'm trying different things. I bought some cat litter made out of clay. I think it's crushed fired clay, and I put it all in a big bucket, and I started to sort of use that to get rid of my clay water, the one that I'm not going to recycle, the one that it's from the floor and it's already contaminated. After I use that bucket, which is designed for the wheel, I use a second fresh water, and that second bucket, because that water will not have much clay in it, I could actually pour it down the toilet and it will be fine. Actually, where I used to work as well, we could also do these things sometimes, but we just have to be careful. We just have to keep monitoring what we're doing. But anyway, I will show you what I'm gonna do with this water after I wait for 24 hours and it all settle down, and then you will be surprised. I'm gonna introduce you to a very, very, very nice tool. Okay, bye. Right, so now after I already have washed all of my tools and all of the wheel, splashback and everything, now I would wait for maybe 24 hours or even a bit longer. So what happens now, the clay will go all the way down. It sits on the bottom of the bucket. So I've got it here, and then the fresh water will stay in the top. So now how am I going to get rid of that fresh water? I am going to use this. It's like they use it as they buy it from Bunnings, a hardware store here in Australia, in Brisbane. And this is basically mainly for camping. Actually I would give the credit to Karina from Mud to Mud. She actually recommended doing this. I think it's around $60. You buy it from Bunnings, and it's in the section where all of the camping and everything they sell there for camping. So all you need to do is just you turn it on and you recharge it as well, and then you just basically put it down. So it's not going to disturb that water. So because you don't want that water to get disturbed or mixed, because now the slip, if you do that, the slip is going to get mixed up with the water and everything is going to go up again. You want it to be nice and gentle, just so you can get all of that water, the top fresh clear water, to get it out. So here I am. It's just a very simple process. This is like saves so much time, because before that I used to use like a syringe I bought from Amazon, like a big syringe, but it would just take so much time to get rid of that much water in the bucket. So ideally what you need to do is once it gets down to like a certain level, because this shower is designed only for clear water. So once I don't want any clay to get in there, because it will just get damaged. So once I get down to like a certain level where I am worried that I'm going to start sucking some slip and I'm going to damage the shower, I will go to use the syringe, and I'll show you how the syringe looks like. I don't want to break this lovely tool. It's very helpful. So basically I do all of this after the student finish their workshops and they leave. So as you can see, it's a long process, cleaning does take so much time. Actually, last weekend, the lovely student that I had throwing on the wheel, they insisted on helping me cleaning, and that was so lovely. I really appreciate you guys helping me because it saved so much time as well. So look at it, like I already have filled a whole bucket of water. So this water I could reuse. I do add vinegar. Vinegar doesn't interfere with the integrity of the clay, because I will be recycling all of that clay. But vinegar will stop like the mold from happening, that bad smell from happening. So I do add like a white vinegar. I do add like the double strength I got in the supermarket. So it does smell a bit vinegary. So I could like just save that water instead of like, you know, pouring it down the drain and reuse it. Or I could just use it for cleaning next time, like next week. So I've got like a workshop this weekend. I've got actually one person coming to throw on the wheel tomorrow. I didn't want to cancel, although like I set up the policy to be minimum 2 people, but I'm happy to keep that one. And then I've got 5 people coming on Saturday, and I might be getting more booking. Yeah, so this is the thing. This is really good. Now I almost have gotten rid of all that water. Very easy. It is getting really low, so I might just bring the camera and show you how it looks like. Here you go. You can see how now the water is very low. I'm just going to turn it on again. Just make sure it doesn't, oh, see now it started to get mixed up because that sponge there, which is not supposed to be there, I left it by mistake. So now that sponge caused some friction, so now that water on the top is not clear anymore. But I will try to suck a little bit more. Nah, see now that's a bit too dangerous, so I'm gonna stop there and maybe use the syringe. I'll show you how the syringe looks like. Okay, so now I will show you how that works with the syringe. Yeah, it's just a little, it needs a little bit of muscles. So what I'll do, I'll just take some up. That just makes it a little bit easier to suck. And then I'll just put it in there. Now, if I do accidentally suck a little bit more of the slib, I don't really mind as much because I am not gonna congest that shower that I showed you earlier. So here we go. Look, there's so much water, but as you can see, the shower is just a lot easier than this. So all what I'm trying to do basically is to just get closer to the camera. Hopefully that's all being in the shot. Yeah, and then also here I will be taking some of that water. That's all just nice clear water. Find like you have to use lots of muscles to get it out. But yeah, as my studio gets bigger and bigger and bigger, maybe this might become a little bit harder and harder because it's going to take more time. So ideally, maybe it's a good idea to invest in getting like a sink trap, which basically means that you can try and get rid of some of that water in the sink without clogging your pipes. Yeah, so this is the syringe. You can buy it from Amazon. It says 550 cc, and that's basically the process. Now I'll show you the next step, what I'm gonna do after. So basically the next step, see all of that dried clay? This has been sitting here for almost a week. It's bone dry. So what I'm gonna use with this dry clay, I'm gonna add it into these buckets. And so basically for that clay to get wet again, it's going to suck all of that water, excess water that's left in the bucket, and it's going to help drying it, if that makes sense. So this bone dry clay will need lots of water to get wet again, which means everything I put in the bucket will get sort of like the same consistency, and then I will take it out of the bucket and put it back in here so it will dry for next week. So as you can see, it's drying in a terracotta tray there. Terracotta is not as effective. These plates here are made of stoneware tin, and they actually like bisque fired, so they only have been fired once. With these bisque fired, they're very thirsty, so they suck all of that moisture from that clay and turn it into bone dry. And it's summer now here in Australia and Brisbane, so things dry fast. So I'll show you the next process, how I add this dry clay into that bucket. Hello. Okay, so now the last step, after I already have sucked all of that water out, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add all of that slip together. So I've got some here in this bucket. I'm just gonna add it to here. It's all nice and thick. And then I'm gonna bring all that dry, bone dry clay from the shelf, and I'm just gonna add it to that wet slip. So what this is gonna do is gonna suck all of that moisture from the slip, and it's basically gonna help that to dry faster. And then I'll be doing the same process. So tomorrow this will settle and it will be less liquidy, and then I'm gonna transfer it back to these bisque fired plates, and then leave it there on that shelf to dry. So I've got lots of that. So after trying so many things and trial and error, I find this is just the best way of drying my clay water, or getting rid of my clay water. So, and as you see, I'm doing it outside because I don't want that clay dust to get into my lungs. And more here. So this is a big chunk. And yeah, this is really dry. So it's just gradually, it's gonna start to suck that moisture and dry faster. So yeah, I'll come back tomorrow and that should be ready to move back into these plates. So here I am using that first bucket, which is the wheel throwing bucket. And this is just my first attempt to mob. I will be doing a second and a third and maybe a fourth mob, because what happens, the floor might look clean when you finish, but a few hours later you see like that white sort of dust on the floor. So yeah, the first mopping will be with this bucket, and the clay, the water in that bucket, obviously I can't recycle, so I have to find a way to dispose of it. So I could use maybe the cat litter or try to find another method. Here is a very large bucket of cat litter, clay cat litter. We'll try. Okay everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video has been helpful. So please leave any questions if you have any questions, or if you are concerned about anything. I am more than happy to help. So yeah, for those who wants to start a new pottery journey and you open a new pottery studio, start teaching, I think those steps that I showed you will be really helpful, because it took me a while to sort of like learn and sort of evolve and find the best way of doing things. So yeah, I'm still testing the cat litter to see if it works, but if you find a place close to you where you can dispose of your mopping clay water, then maybe it's better. For me, I live in an apartment and my home studio is in an apartment and I'm surrounded by other apartments. I just don't want to sort of like do the wrong thing, so I just have to be very careful. Thank you so much for watching, and as I said, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment, and if you could please subscribe, follow me on all of my other social media, and if you are interested in any of my workshops, you can find me on any Chantal ceramic platform. I also have LinkedIn, and if you look up for Chantal, just try to find my website, because this way I don't have to pay a high percentage. So it's Chantal Ceramic Class Pinto. Yeah, so look for Chantal Ceramic Class Pinto. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and have a good one. Bye.